Good morning. I'm the Reverend Julianne Lopp. It's so good to be with you on this November 1st morning. I was telling somebody that it wasn't November yet, and lo and behold, it's November. It's great to be with you, and this is our UUC virtual service. We are doing virtual services through May 2021. We're so glad that you joined us for our This I Believe service. Many people who are curious about Unitarian Universalism really enjoy this service to see the diversity of belief within a UU congregation. If you're interested in learning more about our congregation or Unitarian Universalism, we are having a membership class or a getting to know UUC class next Saturday. And you can find information about that on our website in the newsletter or on our Facebook page. Our opening words this morning are from the Reverend Kendall Gibbons. Out of a community of diverse heritage and belief, we come together to share our hope and to create good in the world. The prophets of all traditions and times have taught that we are called to mercy, generosity, and mutual care, and that to be great is to serve. We know that no enduring happiness for humanity is so long as there is suffering and want to go unrelieved. Until all may be sheltered, none of us is truly at home. May the power of our various faiths sustain us in this work, that we may work to do justice and build a better world. Come, let us worship together. This morning we'll hear our Music for Gathering from Joe and Pat Bonner. I've been listening to this music all week long, and we look forward to having that music start us off today.
I don't hear anything.
Yes, we'll correct that in just a minute. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I am Dawn Brisky, and I am the chair of this year's Harvest Auction Committee. I am also controlling the PowerPoint, so I apologize for the gaffe on that last one. I wanted to point out that Pat also put together that lovely presentation that went with her music. And Pat is an integral part of our Harvest Auction Committee, along with several other members of our congregation. Our Harvest Auction every year is a fundraiser with an emphasis on fun. When I first joined this congregation 3 years ago, I was invited to attend the Harvest Auction while I was part of the new member class. And having just moved, I thought, oh, I don't know if I can afford to attend an auction, but I'll go. It was the best decision I had made because we had so much fun. It's a huge gathering of our community. This year, we're going virtual. So this has been a challenge to put together the event virtually, but we really want to gather our community together. And so to that end, we're hoping that you'll send us photos of yourself in hats, fine dress, casual dress, or any other way you'd like to be represented. And we're going to share that as a montage at the beginning of the virtual harvest auction, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. You can send those pictures to UU office at uueauclair.com. We're also going to have a lot of entertainment this year to kind of make this a fun virtual event. We're going to see several different members of our congregation singing songs, presenting music. And Lacey, who's presenting this morning as a This I Believe speaker, is also going to be presenting one of her songs. I wanted to share with you, well, actually, I have too many things going on. I'm not going to try to share with you. So if you go to our UU Eau Claire website and click on Contribute, you will find the link to the Harvest Auction website there. You'll get a schedule of all of the events coming up over the next 2 weeks. Next Saturday, the silent auction begins. And that starts at 11 o'clock next Saturday, as well as the Buy It Now items. You do need tickets to participate in the live auction that starts Saturday, November 14th. Those are $5 per household. You can get those through that website or contact the office and we will help you out. And then the silent auction will close and item pickup begins on Sunday, November 15th. So all of those dates are on the website. Some of the procedures are going to be different this year. And so I appreciate the questions I'm receiving from some of you. I will respond to those questions on the website and we'll try to get that in the newsletter as well so that you understand how it's working this year. We hope to see all of you there. It's just great to see everybody's faces. We love doing the Zoom on Sundays and seeing faces live and participating in the coffee hour. And we're looking forward to seeing you at the Harvest Auction. Now I am going to share my screen again and share the next PowerPoint, which is a talk from the literacy word is escaping me. Here we go.
The Literacy Chippewa Valley. There are 50-50 share the plate.
Okay.
And Literacy Chippewa Valley is a place that some of our members have volunteered to help promote literacy in the Chippewa Valley. and it's a great organization.
My name is Elizabeth Hart, and I'm the Executive Director of Literacy Chippewa Valley. Literacy is the most basic currency of a knowledge economy. In the 21st century, it is not enough to just recognize words on a page. We must have detailed understanding in order to effectively use it as a tool. In addition, we need to be able to apply it in a technological environment. All parents work and sacrifice so that their children can have a better life. Literacy is a responsibility that begins at home. It is a gateway that makes all other learning possible. It is the activity that makes the part of our brain where reason and logic function grow. Literacy allows us to analyze facts and note differences, and children need high standards and inspirational examples to emulate. In the Chippewa Valley, 1 in 7 individuals struggles with low literacy. As a community, we have decided to support Literacy Chippewa Valley for over 30 years so that it can continue to provide adult basic education for those in need. It's never too late. In our corrections education, one-to-one tutoring, and family literacy English language programs, we meet individuals where they are at and engage them in learning activities that remove barriers and foster growth. We truly hope that our work will make a difference in all of our interconnected journeys. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Deb Irwin. I'm the Family Literacy Coordinator here at Literacy Chippewa Valley in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Here at Family Literacy, we have many students, and our students generally fall into 2 categories. Some are Asian, some are Hispanic, but we also have European and other nationalities too. We have 1 classroom with a teacher, and then we have breakout sessions with tutors so that you are leveled with people of like ability and you work one-on-one with tutors in that way. I really like working with Literacy Chippewa Valley and especially family literacy because I get to meet many people of different nationalities. We get to share ideas and sometimes recipes. Ooh, that's really good. And we make connections, and we have connections all over the world through our students that come to us here in Eau Claire at Family Literacy.
Hi, my name is Jim McConnell. I have been a tutor at Literacy for 10, 11 years now. I think where I've had the most gratification is working with people who are studying to enter the medical field in some way. I'm a retired nurse. I worked in nursing for, I don't know, about 30 years. And what I enjoy doing is helping people get prepared for the medical profession. It's we are in need of medical professionals all the time, and so I figure whatever I can pass on, it's worth doing. I like to work at people's own pace. I tell many of them, or hopefully I don't forget, but I try to tell them that basically they are the boss. I'm here to consult, so to speak, and maybe to see what needs are and to offer suggestions or corrections, but they determine their own pace. The setting has been very, very good. It's quiet here, I think. I'm always supported. Whatever material needs that there are that we have, we get them. There's no quibbling over that. Oftentimes when we go to our situation may vary. We may go to the library if somebody needs to meet after work, or we may even go to a coffee shop. So, and then the other part is that people seem to be very supportive of the work we do.
I'll show you how it works. You take a knife and you bring it here.
Cup measure?
Measuring
cup. I use the wicks for scramble eggs.
Family literacy means a lot to me since it was there that the doors were opened for me to take English classes when I first came to this place. That was a great help for me since it helped me a lot to improve my English, and now I feel more confident when I communicate with other people in any situation. For example, with my children's teachers at school, when I need to make an appointment by phone, when I go shopping, etc. The staff is great. They are always there to help, and they are very friendly. The teachers are fantastic. They have the patience and ability to teach English that I love. I am very grateful to the entire family literacy team.
Thanks so much for that. That was wonderful. Hi, my name is Raisa Schmitzius. I am the board secretary here at the UU congregation. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are a religious community who commit ourselves to diversity. We hope to nourish human differences, those of gender, race, age, ability, sexual orientation, political views, culture, class, and religious belief. Welcome to all who treasure freedom of conscience in the search for truth. We promise to do our best to provide you a spiritual home. We extend a special welcome to our visitors today. We hope you will follow our UUC Facebook page and stay tuned for other events such as Wonderful Wednesdays and Sunday morning meditation. There are religious exploration classes for adults and small groups for support and interests like book club. Also, families can follow our UUC Religious Exploration Facebook page. There are religious exploration classes for 4K through 9th grade and youth group every Wednesday online for middle school and high school students. We're so glad you joined us today. And next we're going to have the chalice lighting.
Good morning, my name is Linda Mays. And this morning as we light our chalice, we will read the words of Amy Carol Webb. We light this flame for the art of sacred unknowing, humbled by all that we cannot fathom in this time. We come into the presence of what we do know, perhaps the only thing we can ever know, that love is now and forever the only answer to everything and everyone in every moment. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. Again, my name is Linda Mays, and this I believe. I believe that deep within the human experience lies a mysterious force that draws us into being, into vitality, into a fullness of life that is beyond our imagination, that is so wonderful that we can hardly take it in. I believe it can be hard to access this depth within us on a daily basis, that ordinary life can be so full, distracting, or stressful, and that we can lose touch with that place where this life resides. Yet I believe that we have within us an element that can touch and be open to this life, this part of us that yearns for the more, a part of us that is drawn to search for truth and meaning, that hungers to understand, to believe, to become what we are meant to become a fully human being. I believe that life is an opportunity for growing a soul. I believe that the fundamental orientation of human beings is to have meaning, that happiness, though good, when connected primarily with pleasure, cannot sustain our well-being, that having a meaningful life can sustain us at a deeper level. I believe that we are born essentially good, compassionate, and loving, and that the divine is present in everything. I believe that this divine presence is like the breath within us, like wind on our back, like the air in and around us, like a pulsing aliveness, like the beat of a drum, a humming, an energy, a still small voice within, an internal knowing, the essence and potential of all things. I believe that every aspect of our universe is part of an interconnected whole, that all parts are important and needed, that all living beings have value, that all human beings have inherent worth. I believe that this universe, life, and each person are beyond all or nothing binary categories of simple or complex, good or bad, holy or profane, scientific or religious, material or spiritual, masculine or feminine, divine or human. Rather, I believe that everything is a both and interconnected experiential reality, reflecting a unity and wholeness that exists beyond dualistic categories. In my work daily as a hospital chaplain, I experience this unity and wholeness in life and in each person. I see beauty within the most horrific suffering, connection in aloneness, peace within chaos, courage in great fear, the tenderness inside of rage, hope in dire circumstances, and even life that springs forth out of death. And so I believe that life is an amazing, scary, tragic, extraordinary, exquisite mix of all that is. And because of that, I believe that I and we are not alone. I can embrace all parts of myself and others with compassion, love, and acceptance. I can see the whole essential beauty within. I can respond to the divine mystery within our magnificent universe, the energetic flow of love within all things. And I can laugh at crazy squirrels, receive nurture from the warm sun, and energy from the moving streams. And I can even find some gratitude and connection in the daily challenges of living with COVID-19. I can also become aware of those around me, seen and unseen, who hold me and all of us in a comforting blanket of support, encouragement, and wisdom. I can experience the synchronicities that come from within and beyond, showing me the way. In these past 7 months of living together with COVID-19, I have come to believe again that we are all individually and collectively connected. I have been reminded of how much we really do need each other, and that life can be very hard. I've come to experience again that even when we have to face the worst of ourselves or others, that new beginnings are available again, that life breaks forth again and again with new possibilities that we could not see before. And so I believe that we can change, that transformation is possible. I believe that light does coexist in the darkness, and that though we sometimes need to be in the darkness for a while, that healing can take place as we remain quiet and still. I believe that when we are ready to see and experience them, that sources of love and strength and wisdom and capacities for connection and healing will show up to meet us. And so I believe in abundance, a never-ending fountain of sustaining gifts that we can open anytime, the right gifts for the right time. And I have seen these gifts during this time of COVID-19. I have experienced the support of others, the courage of patience, and a sacred presence in the face of my own fears, grief, vulnerability, and exhaustion. And I have learned that most of us are just trying to do the best we can, taking daily challenges as they come, rising to the occasion when needed, and when we couldn't, collapsing into the care of another person, our beloved pet, or a comfy couch. And through this time, I have been renewed in my belief in the human capacity to persevere, to recover, to walk through deep, dark valleys and find the strength to get up another day. And I have come to believe even more deeply in the importance of compassion, empathy, and a caring presence. When we look back to this time a few years from now, I hope that we can feel proud of how we have experienced the full range of our humanness, of how we showed up for ourselves and others, leaned on others, and experienced the presence of love in, around, and among us. And it is because of these things that I believe in our future.
Thank you. And our reading now is a prayer for these times. Let me find peace within so that I may be calm throughout. Let me find silence within so that I may find compassion throughout. Let me be reminded that some things are worth waiting for. Let me be reminded that the journey is more important than reaching the destination. Let me see that the non-doing is as much a part of life as the doing. Let me be reminded that it is in these moments of holding on that I can find quietude and renewal. It is within these times of inaction that I can find rest. It is in times of emptiness that I can become full. Amen and blessed be. Now is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns. If you have a joy or concern that you would like to share in our chat, you can share it there, and I will be reading some of those shortly. And we'll have a moment of silence as you share those joys and concerns in this care and in community. We have members who have contacted me about testing positive for COVID-19 or being in quarantine. Want to let our members and friends of this congregation know that we are here to support you during this tough time. And we do have care packages. And want to especially say that please, during this time, to keep masking, keep distancing inside and outside of UUC. And if for some reason you would like to use the UUC building, you can contact Chris. And inside we mask and continue to distance there as well. We love you so much and want you all to know that you are connected during this time. Wanted to share our joys and concerns here from Don Mowry, concerned for the elections, just 2 wake-ups away. I guess that's different than 2 sleeps away, like the we say with little kids, 2 sleeps, just 2 wake-ups away. Don Brisky shares a joy for this amazing community. Angie, gratitude for this community. And Tracy shares she just received a chair that Don Mowry has been refinishing, an auction item from last year. It is amazing to know that my kids and grandkids will be able to have this around like I did. Aw. Marcia Jacob, happy to have participated at home with the celebration of Halloween and Day of the Dead with my family yesterday. Very busy day. And Tracy, David shares that the chair that Tracy shared about was grandmother's chair. Nate Otto shares, I started a new job as a Zoom service operator for a UU congregation in California. But it's 3 hours different, so we get to have you too. Yay. All right. I wanted to share Linda Luttrell shares a joy for the splendid words from Linda. Sue says, my joy is for this wonderful community, my farm family, my family of origin, and my family of choice. She also shares that she has concerns for the election, how it will unfold, how the school year will continue. And I hope all who test positive will share or will have healing and not have lasting effects. Thank you for all the joys and concerns shared in this community. We surround you with love and connection. If you'll please join me at home for these words. Love is the spirit of this church and serves its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now we have a hymn featuring David Hirsch.
Sing our praises for the journey, pilgrims we who carry on, searchers in the soul's deep yearnings, like our forebears in their flame. We seek out the Spirit's wholeness in the endless human quest. Look inside your souls, the kindling of the hearth our pilgrims knew. Find the Spirit always restless, find it in each mind and heart. Touch and hold that ancient yearning, kindling for a newfound truth. Stand we now upon the threshold, facing futures yet unknown. Earth behind us, wayside hostel, built by those new wild roads. Guard we ere their sacred embers, carried in our minds and hearts.
Hi, yeah, this is Jim Hoeppner, and I believe I'm on now. So I want to say my views parallel Linda's beautiful reflection from her bird's eye view on life and death as a chaplain, but my segment's not nearly as poetic as her thoughts. Uh, anyways, a little bit more of a slice of life from my view. I feel like I've always been a Unitarian in concept. The 7 principles make sense to me, and there have been some amazing coincidences that have happened in my life which reinforce and parallel these principles. I'll focus on one coincidence, as it would take a bit much time otherwise. The principles that I'll focus on are the second principle: justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. And for me, it boils down to the idea that we be of service with distance of which we are a part. A couple of them are, we are beyond all binary existence, reflecting a unity, the energetic flow of all living things, a synchronicity from beyond and within showing you the way. We are collectively connected. Yeah. So from my perspective, we are all spiritually related. There is a synchronicity in our lives helping us to move in a positive direction. So how do we end up with Trump? Oh, I have no idea about that. But here's a coincidence that bears out some of the synchronicity, and this is like a little mini moth NPR show here. The Peace Corps had always seemed like a great idea, a way to contribute to humanity, but I wasn't sure that I wanted to leave the country for so long. So I was at loose ends December 1977, just having completed my degree in construction administration at UW-Madison. On the last day in Madison, I stopped by to see my real estate finance professor, Professor Grasskamp. I told him that I wasn't planning on going into a big corporate job, that I was looking for something more like the Peace Corps. But in the US, it just has improved their housing. It was called Neighborhood Housing Services. What a great idea. Sounds wonderful. So Professor Grasskamp gave me the contact in DC, and I immediately tried to reach him. This is where the coincidence really gets interesting, and interdependent web seems to be at work. So I called the office and they said that he was on vacation, but I persisted, and they said, well, he was on vacation in Wisconsin. And I said, well, gosh, that's fabulous. Is there a way that I could get a hold of him? Because it would be hard for him to reach me. And the powers that be then helped me out as a receptionist, gave me Ed's phone number and said that he was on vacation in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. and open to being called. So I rang Ed, and he was there, and he was on vacation in Rice Lake with his wife for Christmas holidays. Coincidentally, I was going skiing at Hartsgravel Ski Area the next day, which is right next to Rice Lake. So after my ski day, Ed and I did the interview, and he offered me a job. So then I ended up in a Black neighborhood in Pasadena, California for 2 years. The neighborhood had been redlined, run down. We helped the residents to improve their housing stock by getting them low interest loans, writing specifications, putting the work out to bid, and following through to make sure that it was done correctly. So also here it's worth mentioning the fifth principle, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. And that's why I believe that Donald Trump is not going to win the election, as he doesn't honor this principle. So that's it for me.
Good morning, my name is Lacey, and this is my reflection. I could not dress up like a unicorn. I could not write a blog post. There were no pictures on Facebook or Instagram that could adequately describe what I felt and was experiencing. To me, March of this year was a time akin to sitting on the rocks. If you've ever been to the shore of Lake Superior outside of Duluth, you know, where all those big giant rocks are and where you can sit and watch the big ships come in. Yeah. If you sit on those rocks long enough, your bum really starts to hurt. Then your back starts to nag at you. And finally, you realize you're chilled to the bone and bored. You might even ask, what the heck am I doing here? COVID is like this, but way worse. Sitting on the rocks is a spiritual practice in which I sit with the hard things in my life. Like the cold, hard rocks of being far away from my family and not knowing if anyone I love will get sick, if I will get sick, and or whether I'll ever see some of my family again. It goes a little something like this. This spring, my mom was planning a move. She was packing her things when COVID hit, and it stopped everything. Except her landlord had already found a new tenant and wouldn't let her stay unless she paid an additional $300 a month. In desperation, my mom called the housing authority, the governor, and anyone who might listen and help. It was early days, however, so no one knew about the new law that provided grace for people losing their housing due to an inability to pay. Thousands of miles away, I watched in horror as my mom moved into her minivan until we could find her a new apartment. That felt like being hit by a rock right in the gut. After finally getting my mom settled and getting some awesome news that my 1-year kidney transplant was doing great, the rocks of racism and the murder of George Floyd seemed to rain down like asteroids. I wept for days. I thought about my nephew, who's biracial, and wondered how he felt and if he was doing okay. He lives in California, and every time I talked to him on the phone, I wished I could reach through and give him a giant hug. I held the stones of missing my sister, who is not only one of my incredible kidney donors, but who was also about to get married. It hurt so badly knowing that I wouldn't be able to be part of the celebration and forever cherish the memories of all of us together on her special day. My compromised immune system kept my husband at bay for the first several months of his new job at a regional hospital. No hugs, no kisses, separated and alone. And then And then there were just the average run-of-the-mill health concerns heaped on top of it all, like having a bladder stone removed, or my body attacking my hair for some reason and making it fall out. Nonetheless, some of these things seemed like mere pebbles compared to the grim granite reality of those dying with COVID, the systemic racism still ravaging our communities, and an unhinged presidential administration, not to mention the horrifying fires out west, stealing away homes and threatening lives, including those of family members and friends. Finally, just when I thought I'd sat with these rocks long enough, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away, and suddenly, my own rights as a person living with a disability, those of my LGBTQ friends, and those of women were inevitably headed back to the chopping block. It was just so much. So here's what I know and understand about trauma. If you sit long enough with the hard things that cause emotional, psychological, and even physical pain, you eventually let go. Privilege, you let go of all the things you thought were important, like your identity, ego, position, privilege, stoicism, being cool, liked, and or important. Someone else emerges that has been softened and calmed. A person who can sit with the hard suffering and survive. It is a being who is no longer overly concerned with self-protection, deflection, and rejection. They cannot be bothered by petty disagreements, gossip, or lies. Instead, they see through it all to the root of suffering. You see, we as beings can awaken to the understanding that we all sit on the rocks together. COVID persists, but we are never actually alone. We are intrinsically connected to everything, to everyone on this giant rock we call home. And as we come together as survivors to connect, share in our collective story, and hold space for one another, we can use the stones to build a safe refuge of hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a reading, No Matter What They Tell You by Nita Penfold. No matter what they tell you, let it be about joy. Let it be about the sacred, self-surviving, no, thriving, shining its way to the knowledge within. Let it be about blooming, the unfolding of the universe through you. Because the story of you begins 15 billion years ago with that first flash of being. I want to thank all of our speakers this morning who shared a piece of their beliefs and their love and light. Now is the time that we move towards our giving. Our 50-50 Share the Plate recipient this month is Literacy Chippewa Valley. And we have members who have shared their light by volunteering. And this is a great organization that promotes literacy in our community. With gratitude for the abundance of our lives, we give to help people in need and to support the work of this congregation. You can donate online, or you can also text to give at 84321. You can also mail checks to UUC at 421 South Farwell Street in Eau Claire. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. And our music for giving today will be from Pat Bonner and Julia Brown. Thank you so much.
Please join me in the words of Elizabeth Sell Jones as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Thank you so much for all of your beautiful words today, and just want to let those know who are watching and Facebook that we are so glad that you joined us. If you want information on how to join us in Zoom, there is a visitor link in the Facebook comments. Those attending in Zoom today will take some brief moments after we close to share a brief joys and concerns in your own voices, and before we move into our coffee breakout rooms. Our closing words this morning are from one of my favorite Unitarian Universalist writers, Rebecca Ann Parker. Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Thank you, my friends. Go in peace and go in love, and please care for yourselves in the midst of caring for one another. Amen.
Julie, I need you to end the Facebook stream.